Listen, online connection and virtual dating are nothing new, but during this global pandemic, it seems like more and more people are moving into the virtual dating space. But here's the problem. If you don't go into an arena with clear and concise rules of engagement, most of the time you're going to come out bruised, battered, frustrated, maybe even hopeless. So today what I want to do is I want to give you 7 rules for online dating. That's what we'll talk about today right here on RelationShots. Welcome to RelationShots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, thanks so much for stopping by. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss upcoming videos and interviews that all things relationship. So today I want to talk about something you are all very familiar with, that's online dating. But I'm hearing over and over again, a lot of singles are getting frustrated with the dating process, and I think it's because they don't have any rules around it. So today I simply want to give you 7 rules to consider if you're considering virtual dating. Number 1 is go slow. Yeah, see, here's the problem. With virtual dating, by definition, you're both on there for the same reason. So the ambiguity of whether or not this could be a dating relationship is gone. And with that, added pressure to jump in and try to get romantic quicker than you normally would. So I would just say slow it down a little bit. Researchers have done surveys and studies before and found out that couples who are dating online tend to move to the romantic phase in just about 2 months. Whereas outside connections, not found virtually, it tends to be a little bit over a year before couples move into a romantic dating phase. So just get rid of the pressure. You can get to know people without moving straight into the romance. Just slow it down a little bit, take some of the pressure off, and relax a little bit. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is set an end date. This doesn't need to be a never-ending, ongoing thing where you're on 10 different dating sites and there's no end in sight. I would suggest for you, pick 1, maybe 2 sites, pick a time frame, maybe 3 to 4 months, and say, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to get to know some people, see if any one of them maybe has dating potential. And if you don't find anybody in that time, just cut it off for a while. Hang out with your friends, maybe look into another way to do it, but don't just do it ongoing over and over and over, especially for you introverts. It can become a crutch just to say, I'm just going to sit in my house and meet people online and not get out and do anything else. So set an end date, have a finite time, plug in. If you don't find anybody, then just take a break for a little while and maybe go at it again a little bit later. Rule number 3 is meet sooner rather than later. Now, this doesn't conflict with rule number 1, which is go slow. I'm not saying get romantic sooner rather than later. I'm just saying meet the person sooner rather than later. See, what happens is if you don't meet, then whatever persona you both are putting off online, which oftentimes is not completely accurate, can carry on a little bit longer than it should. So if you enjoy the person, I would say find a time to get together with them. That will pretty quickly remove any of the lies that have begun the dating relationship. He's usually not as tall as he says he is, and she's usually not as thin as she says she is in their profile. And it'll give you a chance to see, do they really look like what they say they look like online? And in person, I think it's often a little easier face-to-face to use your discernment, your intuition, and just that gut level feeling. Oftentimes you can figure out something's just not right in person that you can online. Maybe they're inattentive, maybe they have a wandering eye, but being in person will give you a little more insight than you can just talking online or by text or on the phone. Rule number 4 is do a little research. I know this is kind of obvious. I'm not saying stalking. I'm just saying, look online. There's plenty of social media outlets where you can see, does their profile line up with their social media life? And if it doesn't, something's probably off. If you find somebody that really doesn't have any social media presence, that might be a red flag. They may not be who they say they are. Or you can get on and find some social media posts and see over the last year what they've been posting will give you a pretty good indication of what they're really about and what they believe, despite what they may say on the website or to you in person. And if you can't find some stuff anywhere, or maybe there's a contradiction of what they say online and what you're seeing in different social media posts, that'll give you a place to start a discussion. If they tell you, oh, I love the outdoors, I love going out and doing stuff, and they haven't had a social media post in 2 years that show them anywhere other than selfies inside their living room, they probably don't like the outdoors like they say they do. So do a little research, don't be caught off guard, and you'll be able to find out pretty quick if who they say they are is who they really are. Rule number 5 is be clear on what you expect and what you're looking for. Listen, the clearer you are on the vision you have for any relationships, the easier it will be for others to realize they don't fit and deselect themselves. It will save you a lot of wasted time. It may save you some wasted heartache. When you are not clear, if you're ambiguous about who you are and what you're about, you're going to allow people to hang around a little bit longer who don't belong in your life. And you may get attached to them and find out somewhere down the road their values and your values just don't line up, and you've wasted a lot of time. So the more specific you are, the easier it will be for you and them to tell if there's somebody you should be in relationship with. Rule number 6 is don't drag it out. Listen, some of you just don't like being lonely, so you stay in relationships you know have no potential just because you don't want to be lonely. Don't drag out something that you know doesn't have long-term potential. Listen, you're wasting your time, you're wasting their time, and you may ultimately hurt somebody by dragging it out if they're more into you than you are into them. So don't drag it out. You usually know pretty quickly whether this person has any potential at all or whether you can't see yourself with them somewhere down the road. And if you know that you know this is not somebody long-term, just don't drag it out. Go find another friend, find a hobby, keep busy. Don't drag it out just because you're lonely. And rule number 7 is don't date alone. Yeah, here's what I mean. I'm not talking about you have to go on group dates every time because you're 35. I know you're grown. I mean, don't date in isolation. Listen, when you like somebody, when your emotions get involved, you can overlook all kinds of stuff. You'll miss red flags. You'll be willing to overlook stuff that you shouldn't overlook in the name of love. So you need your community, the people that know you, the people that care about you, the people that will call you out, the people that hold you accountable. You need those people in your dating relationship to help catch some stuff that you might not see because you've gotten wrapped up in the romantic part of it. These people are who you trust, and you need to allow the people you trust into your relationship. It's easy to isolate, it's easy to push friends away, and then you got to go back and remake those friends once this relationship doesn't work out. So for your own safety, I promise you, you do not want to date alone. There's just 7 quick rules on virtual dating. Hopefully those have been helpful to you. If you think they'll be helpful to somebody else, consider sharing it with a friend, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have an additional rules that you want to add for other people, drop them in the comment section below as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time right here on Relation Shots.